Hello everyone! Have you ever wondered what the key to winning on a small lakes map is? Is it going naval? Or is it completely ignoring the water and pushing entirely on land? Let's find out! Hey everyone, I'm Chris. I run Polytitans and I'm really looking forward to breaking down this replay for you.
And I am Innofunni joining him. I think I'm kind of funny. We've got Ducks over in the east corner versus Ramdingler down in the south.
And they are playing in this month's YADAKK Polysseum. Polysseum is a series of monthly tournaments featuring each tribe on the square. Players compete to reach the finals where they can win cash prizes. Without further ado, let's get right into the game.
Ducks takes a strong start, chasing those resources up to the north, hoping to find a lot of villages, but instead finding a lot of water up there. Meanwhile, this other warrior down to the south, going to, instead of finding a village, find this ruin, nice, but on a mountain. Aww. Gonna go ahead, another road down there, and Ramdingler, for his part, taking to explore, seeing a lot of villages for easy expansion over in the west, actually taking a third city with this one over in the east. Duck's gonna go ahead, walk straight into Ramdingler's village, and realize that he is stuck between the opponent and not a whole lot else in the north. Maybe he should have just stepped on that climbing ruin.
Yeah, now Ram is going to get his second explorer of the game. Will this get the East Lighthouse? No, but it does get full vision of ducks. So mission accomplished, I would say, for Ram. Also stepping on the ruin. Definitely, I would say, a commanding position out of the early game, looking at those villages in the northwest and seeing that Ram can just continue to expand in that direction, no problem. Meanwhile, Ducks, because he ran into so much water, is laked, but Star Ruin, what do you think he's going to do with those stars?
I don't know. He's got a lot of options. He has a ton of forests around. He went into hunting, which is a very versatile technology. We're seeing a little divergence in the paths from both players, organization and farming for Ramdingler, versus hunting into and look at that forestry and mathematics before capturing that fourth city, not even getting an upgrade. I wonder why he's keeping these forests around without chopping. Maybe he's setting up his markets in his mind. Yeah, Deck's got the roads for it.
Absolutely. Ram, it looks like, is also progressing towards that giant. And yeah, here we go. Here we go. Sawmill coming down for Ducks. Only needs to chop once for that giant. And sure enough, yes, there it is. I think Ram is going to immediately fire back, though. Farming has the road connections, can get lighthouses as well. So both players getting their giants up here. Very nice. Going to be set up to get into this mid game where we see giant on giant combat. What are we thinking for next moves to the players, though? I'm seeing Ram continuing to expand over land here, grabbing those villages in the northwest, but what about Ducks?
Well, it looks like Dux has made a couple of kind of committal moves. The one, he hasn't set up the craziest market spots for himself, just with how he's been, not chopping in some places, like on that city up in the northwest. The other thing is, he has a great water access, but he's refusing to use it. Instead, he's getting catapults, and he's pushing this giant down. He's really glad for the fact that he, put all the population he could into his capital, it looks like, because with that population ruined, he has another giant here. But instead of sending that giant south, he sends a catapult right there, which feels like it's in a really precarious spot. We are seeing trade come out, but it's only going to be like 4 stars per turn on the capital, and he doesn't really have markets anywhere else.
Ooh.
He might get some later.
Yeah.
That's the really dangerous spot. And
Yeah,
the
look at
catapult
that.
had already been over that Park of Fortune in range of that south city. It feels like the giant should have gone down south that way.
Exactly. And now look at this, right? So Ram is actually on the water first, despite having these two landlocked cities right away. I mean, look at the position overall, right? Dux has these 3 other cities besides his capital that all have water access, but he's not on the water at all. No ports, no nothing. Meanwhile, Ram, getting his 4th city, is the first with water access and is going to be able to send these rafts up towards the northwest side of the map and pick up these villages. Meanwhile, Dux only has this warrior on the mountain going to be able to pick up this village that's kind of an island city. What do we feel about Dux's chances of getting into the water here? Can he at this point?
I mean, some men die of thirst while others drown, Chris. Ram with 1 tile of port access is going for it. he knows that he's got this plan in mind for playing for the late game. He has a ton of villages over here, but it seems really dangerous, especially with the attack Dux has brewing over in the southeast. That
Yeah.
city looks a little vulnerable to the, two giants and catapults coming in that are really difficult. Ram is looking a little light on units, and the problem with not having the water access around those starting cities is that it's difficult for him to get something like a scout to, counter these catapults and actually bring them over because all of those ports are so far in the west.
Exactly. So what can he do here? Well, something I'm seeing is he's capturing his sixth city. So here comes Grand Bazaar. That's one monument. And then he also has the opportunity to get an explorer here. What do we feel? Can he get Eye of God in this position?
It's really difficult to say because he doesn't have the East Lighthouse yet. The fog is set up in such a way that an explorer from this city will head straight east, and these are
Yeah.
the 15 tile explorers, so it could go all the way into that east one. If he does that and is able to pick up this last village up in the north, another explorer there should get him that monument easy peasy, but it's going to take a couple turns for him to actually go ahead and pick up that village for that north lighthouse, and there is a little risk that it doesn't pick up the one in the east.
Right, so he's kind of delayed on his Eye of God, which he would probably need both monuments to actually afford a giant in the east. And in the meantime, right, Dux has just got his giant outside the city, so Ram has to respond to that. But let's first take a look at the Explorer here. Hopefully reveal something good for Ram. Looks like, yes, it is shaped towards the east. And gonna go ahead and, yes, pick up that east lighthouse. So that's one of two lighthouses needed for Ram to get Eye of God. And then also just going to get some nice upgrades. Here comes Grand Bazaar. Here comes 5 more stars. And then slides the giant right into the city. Okay, so Dux
Yeah.
has this giant right outside the city. The catapult is weakened but still present. How do we feel about Ram's chances of defending this?
Yeah, it feels really tough. That Park of Forge, no, Grand Bazaar, sorry, on that East City feels really committal from him
Yeah.
because, I mean, just with two giants against one, even if you do get your own giant, Dux has these catapults, which are really difficult for you to attack right now. If Dux is able to take this city from him, you've just given him a very good city and lost monuments somewhere else. So really on a teeter-tottering on a tightrope right now with the tactics, how this is going to play out.
Yeah, one thing that I'm also thinking about, right, is does Dux fully commit to this attack at this point in the game? Do you think he should fully commit to this attack at this point in the game? Or should he try to get on the water while he still can?
That's always the question because he always has water access, but he still hasn't bought fishing.
Yeah,
I
no
mean, he has
fishing.
24 stars right now, so he can start dropping some ports. He'd probably have a pretty good time getting in there as well. He does have mathematics. Maybe if he picks up some border growth on that middle city with the, few fish out there, pick up a giant, pick up ports everywhere around there. He's got way more port spots than Ramdingler like ever will, even though he was the first one into the water. So it is always an option. The only question is, you do see that Ramdingler is the one picking up more cities than you right now. Going into the water is playing for a later game. So, do you trust yourself to be able to play like that late game position against an opponent with more cities? Or do you trust yourself that your attack is good enough that you can break through on land all the way through to the capital?
Let's see, what will he do? So first we're going to pick up that kill, pick up a couple of other nice kills, and 2 catapults for Dux. All
Yeah,
right.
he's not going for water at all. And
Yeah.
Ram doesn't pick up. He goes ahead for archery instead of sailing here. Sailing could have gotten him that village up in the north sooner, as well as, the all-important Eye of God monument we've been talking about. I mean, Dux with his, giants protecting his catapults, all these catapults in range of the city, the way Ramdingler had to defend last turn, taking some serious damage with his own giant. How's he going to defend this city? Like, without getting that Eye of God?
It looks like he's going to try to train a few archers and make it work that way, but what I'm seeing here is his warriors getting picked off, and then Dux just continuing to advance with those catapults, continuing to apply more pressure. And I won't lie to you, unless Ram can pull out mathematics or maybe like mining or something, he's not going to have enough population in this city, right? He needs 5 more to get a giant. And he's not going to capture his 7th city for that explorer for Eye of God until 2 turns from now. So
Yeah, turn too late.
it looks like he's a little late on the pop, and so will he be able to defend this city? Let's see if Dux can put this attack together. Manages to pick off the warriors, and now also sieging, using the ports, finally getting fishing, getting those connections set up, and now this should be Eye of God for Dux. Yes, it is. Is he going to place down that monument right away, though?
Yeah, another important thing to point out, Dux's 1 health catapult there stayed at 1 health. Instead of using his giant to move to that exact same tile northwest of that village now, he used the catapult instead of healing it because, I mean, he looks like he's going for veteran stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
2 out of
2 out
3
of 3
kills.
kills. There it is. Pretty
And
close.
yeah, we see forestry from Ramdingler here. He's going to be able to pick up a giant on the capital with it and then chop the excess resources on the city. Don't give your opponent a monument and who has mathematics that great Samo spot for another giant on that city. But he is going to be losing this city, so it feels like the Grand Bazaar was a little bit misplaced for Ram here.
Yeah, it's just losing that monument to your opponent is going to feel pretty bad. And then in addition to that, Dux's attack is still coming in very strongly, right? Has those 2 catapults that are just going to continue to get roaded, and then has a monument on hand as well, so able to probably make another giant here. And there's the push, going to be able to kill the
Ooh,
giant.
yes. Yeah, using this catapult, pushing it forwards into range of that giant, and the veteran catapult, just like we were talking about.
Yeah.
We're seeing Dux, he really wants to play best of both worlds here, getting into fishing, deciding that he can play on the water a little bit. I mean, it is the best way to get that Grand Bazaar monument and connect that village up in the north. I mean, really the only way, yeah? I
Yeah.
guess some bridges, 10 roads around the corner. But he's got that Grand Bazaar, and instead of Grand Bazaar, he's using some population growth, just another port on this city.
Mhm.
Yeah, to giant here. So
So
where does he
now,
want to use that Grand Bazaar is the question.
yeah, he doesn't place the roads yet for Grand Bazaar, but presumably it's another giant for him. Now I'm looking at for Ram, how is he going to continue to defend this? Manages to pick off a catapult, that's a good start. Gets sailing, also stepping on the ruin, and then I'm assuming has Eye of God on hand this turn. Full vision of the map at this point for both players. Gonna go ahead and get rid of all that fog here. We're now looking at the full vision of both players, using that to get another giant. Forestry, massive chops. 6 chops. Getting 2 archers needs the units absolutely. But is it
It's a
going to be
very
enough?
asymmetrical position here. We've got Dux who's attacking, pushing forward all these giants and catapults, versus Ram who's doing a little bit better, pushing on the water. He's getting all these giants sent straight in there. These archers also seem like they should be a problem for Dux's attack. If the archers are able to disable the catapults with just a couple of hits, how does like Dux's attack progress here? He's down on villages, he's losing out on the water, it looks like. It's a very tough looking position.
Yeah, looking at this position from Ram's perspective, you gotta feel pretty confident, actually. You've got these archers on roads that can ping the catapults, and then this giant with the defense bonus is just really holding down the position. Like, there's not a whole lot that can be done about that giant, and you've got 5 archers behind it with more on the way. So you've gotta feel like you've got a nice defense going here, and you've got winning chances on the water. So if I were Ducks, I'd be feeling a little bit scared here. I'd be feeling a little bit desperate. What are we going to see? Sailing needs to slide that warrior onto
Wow.
that tile.
Yeah, just protecting his catapult over in the east looks like the veteran one.
Yeah, just
But
really...
very expensive, especially with riding that turn as well.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about committing aggressively to sailing on that play, but what I do know is that Ducks is throwing everything into this attack.
Absolutely. It's very teeter-tottery here. Either the attack is going to work spectacularly or it's going to fail. Either way, we're in for some fireworks as this game comes to a close.
Yeah, talk to me about what Ducks can do at this point to make this attack go through.
Yeah, I mean, he had the option to keep some of his warriors on in the water, maybe get some rammers, like try with some sailing ramming stuff, kick him off the ruin, but not quite stars for anything that extravagant at least yet. He does have a couple of markets, not producing the greatest income, but he's trying to just push everything on land, which we can see with he's just sailing not for scouts or anything, but to put his warriors onto the land more efficiently. And he also buys riding this turn just to get some things to counter these archers and help his giants actually break through. And if you're looking around Ram's capital, this is the big problem that Ram has. No water access immediately around his capital. It's really difficult for Ram's water units, which are like basically all of them, save the archers that he's training around just these two cities near his capital. If Ducks can break through, using units from the ports to send them down south and riders from basically all of his cities, he's using units from all five of these cities to attack units from Ramdingler's two cities. And the water units that Ram has are very difficult to get active here.
Right, and that's something that I'm concerned about if I'm in Ram's shoes. Additionally, we've got to be worried about knights if we're Ram, right? We've got this massive army of archers, and we've got a single giant holding down the line in the front. It feels to me like this is begging for knights if you're Ducks.
Oh, certainly.
And then for Ram, it feels kind of straightforward if you can defend your capital, right? You've got those starfish right there to claim. Navigation, just set up those beautiful bombers, completely uncontested in the water. And you've got two giants on the way, so pretty easy to assert water control once you've got those scouts and bombers all set. The real question is, can we get there? So I say, let's let the fireworks unfold. What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's go. Let's go.
Alrighty. Starting off with a spiritualism rune, maybe not the best thing to be seeing if you are Ram, but on the other hand,
another veteran swordsman.
yeah. As if he couldn't have enough of those already, but going to be able to ping down this Juggernaut as well, and doing some serious damage to the Giants over on the east side. So maybe still holding here. Oh, but huge Juggernaut splash for Ducks. That is terrible for Ram.
And it's very committal to put your own giant down like that, but using two monuments, saved that Grand Bazaar, got the killer monument this turn for another giant down there. We see Ramdingler's strategy is really going in on the water. He's using his land archers to attack Dux's Juggernaut in the water, and he's attacking Dux's giant around his capital earlier, getting some nice damage there. But his own giant, one of the few units that's actually defending his capital, is taking some serious damage. Will Ducks be able to take advantage of that? I mean, the riders are getting nasty damage here. That's a big siege over on the capital. Yeah, the catapults are dealing damage to this giant that Ramdingler has and would have loved to keep closer to his capital. Like, Ducks' attack just keeps raging here.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Free Spirit from Duxy using that to disband the giant, set himself up even more to get knights on the following turn. And Ram's giants are falling. 118 HP, the 36 HP is a little bit out of the way. Has a ton of scouts in the water, clear naval control, but is his capital going to stick around for another couple of turns for him to convert that? We will see, because it looks like Dux is going to be getting knights on this turn in addition to a capital siege. That is one knight, two knights, boom, has an attack going on the capital. Will this be enough? Inno, tell me, what do you think?
Like, we're looking at Ramdingler, he's getting absolute crazy naval control. That north city of Dux's is going to be lost. There's a giant closing in on the center. If Ram is able to just, survive a little while longer, the game is his. But is he going to be able to survive? Comes down to the tactics here as everything's going crazy. Like, hard to see anything, and that's a big giant siege right there. He's attacking the archer instead of going after the giant with the scout, just doing all the damage that he can, and he has this knight that's blocking the units from trying to do anything to unsiege in the capital. The giant does some damage, but it's not enough, and we're only seeing an archer in range to do anything. We see, he's using the spiritualism. He places a tree, conceding the game to Dux right at the very end.
My goodness, thrilling conclusion to that game. He had spiritualism, but didn't quite have enough to also get math and try to set up that giant pop. Would have been absolutely glorious if he did. But it was equally glorious that Dux found that incredible capped snipe with the Knights. Well played to Dux. Congratulations. An absolutely beautiful game from both players. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave your thoughts in the comments and drop a like. We'd love to see you in the next Polysseum. Links are in the description. You can also find links to our social media there. If you'd like to see more exciting Polysseum content, check out this amazing Zavasi video. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.